I love the mystery of that. I love bags that bag nerds know that it's like a really nice bag, but the general public doesn't know what it is, and so they won't judge you, won't get judged, and you can just enjoy the best bags ever. I don't know why, guys, I do this a lot. Like, I just have regrets for selling bags. I think because I just love all the bags. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Jess. If you love shopping and handbag videos, please like and subscribe to my channel. You'll super love it. I've got a little comment from subby called Lorraine. Hi Lorraine, if you're watching, and it inspired me to do this video today. Her comment is, I've been following your channel for a while, and as a collector of bags myself over many years, I would like to know what made you switch from buying Louis Vuitton and Chanel bags to now mostly Hermes. By the way, I can relate to this video as I don't use my bags. So my last video, well, I'll link it below. It was one of my previous videos. I talked about how we get judged for collecting handbags. And guys, I am always I feel like subconsciously I'm affected by people judging me for my handbags. And I have to tell myself, guys, like, there are a lot of people who are just not interested in fashion or bags, and that's why they don't understand why would we spend so much money on a handbag. And it's because they have they don't research about fashion, and they're not like bag nerds like me, so they don't get it. But I think similarly, people don't get why I like now Hermes bags, because perhaps there are a lot of people who have no interest in Hermes as well. Like, they find it quite boring, old lady bags. They just don't get it. And I understand that. Like, I have no interest in football, and I don't understand why you would spend so much money on betting, and like, why would you spend so much time watching a football game? Like, because I have no interest in it. I think a lot of people have judged me because I've sold a lot of my Chanel and Louis Vuitton bags and bought Hermes bags, and they don't get it. So today I'm going to explain to you guys what makes me feel like Hermes bags are worth it, and why I am really passionate about them at the moment, perhaps compared to other brands. I've definitely collected many bags over the past few years. One of my first Hermes bags that I got was back in around 2018, and that was my Picotin bag. And this is a bag that I've had for a few years now, and it's always been like a really easy go-to for me. And I think that's because it's a really cute color. It's also low key, so I don't feel as embarrassed to wear it, because I feel like sometimes if you're in certain settings or even going to work or around family, I find that sometimes wearing like a heavily branded bag is not appropriate, and I get stares and stuff. Like, I went to a wedding recently and I wore my Chanel mini, and I feel like it was almost a little bit too much for a family affair. I mean, it was still beautiful, but you know, it's obviously a Chanel bag. So I find this kind of bag very refreshing for me, and something I really reach for without even thinking, like anytime, anywhere, because it's so, like, most people don't really know what this is. People who do know what it is, I actually appreciate it and think, oh my gosh, cute little Picotin. Like, so yeah, I think that I reached for a lot, and it's been a bag that I've had for quite a few years. Having loved this bag, I decided a few years back it's probably like a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. Remember, guys, when I bought my Kelly 28 in Malachite? Well, the thing that made me make that bag in particular was I often visited consignment stores like the Persefair, and I often, you know, I went through bag phases where I sold a lot of Louis Vuitton bags, and then I was really obsessed with the Chanel Classic flap for a while, and I had a real desire to collect many colors of Chanel Classic flaps. And so I would often like regret buying a bag and then sell it, and then look at the Chanel Classic flaps and see what colors they had. And I was also kind of thrilled by how often the prices, like, I honestly kind of feel a thrill out of seeing how far the prices go up as well. I'm just like, oh my gosh, gotta buy this before it goes up in value. Like, I love the chase as well of like buying these really expensive bags. I know that sounds kind of sick, but at this time I was fascinated by Chanel Classic flaps, and I also started to notice the Hermes Birkins and Kellys in the Persefair, and I did try on this beautiful Kelly Cellier in pink. I think it was, I don't know what it was, like, it was a really cute pink, rose confetti or something. It was really, really pretty, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to buy this bag one day. Like, this is so beautiful. But it was like over $20,000, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to sell some of my Chanel bags and buy a Kelly that's under, you know, a certain amount, under like 18,000-ish. And so I decided to sell my Chanel Classic, my Coco handle. Like, I just went, like, I'm very easy to just snap like that, guys. So I just became obsessed with these, like, Kelly bags, and I ended up buying a Kelly 28 in malachite with a blue handles, like a limited edition one. And that bag just sat on my shelf for over 6 months, and I never used it because I honestly don't know why I never used it, guys. Like, I just feel like at that time I was still really into Louis Vuitton and Chanel. And I was still really obsessed with, like, Chanel flap bags and the latest Louis Vuitton releases. Like, I was making a lot of videos about new Louis Vuitton and into, like, micro Louis Vuitton bags, and Chanel vintage was something I became obsessed with later. So I was still kind of exploring Chanel and Louis Vuitton. And I feel like I took it to the extreme with Louis Vuitton and Chanel, to the point where there was not much more for me to explore. Hermes, for me, at this time, it was still kind of boring. I still loved Hermes, but I had a Kelly bag, and then I ended up buying, trading in a few bags and buying a mini bolide, and then I also had a toolbox bag. And my boyfriend, I remember when I showed him my toolbox, he was just like, Jess, like, why'd you buy that? It's such a boring bag. And I realized with Hermes, I started to tell myself it was really boring, and there was no point in me buying it because it's just too old lady, and I just got over it, and I ended up selling, like, all my Hermes bags apart from my Picotin, because I still love my Picotin. And then I got a job at the Purse Affair. I ended up leaving my old job. And prior to leaving my old job, I was still really into Chanel and classic flaps and all that. And I found that I wasn't even really wearing my classic flaps. I just enjoyed collecting them and, like, looking at them. And Louis Vuitton, I kind of got over, like, the monogram canvas. So anyways, I got a job at the Purse Affair, and at this time I started to kind of repurchase old Louis Vuitton bags that I'd had, like my Cherry Speedy. I bought a croissant bag. I think I bought, like, a Cherry Blossom pochette. So I started to, like, kind of recollect Louis Vuitton bags I had sold for some reason. And then I also started to explore vintage Chanel, because I saw a lot of vintage Chanel come in through the Purse Affair, and I just found it really fascinating. And at one point, I had a few Chanel vintage bags, and then I started to get into the big jumbos, and I loved, like, the chunky hardware and the big CC logos. And then, guys, I started to notice again the Birkins and the Kellys at the Purse Affair, and something about them, every time we got one in, I would just be really in awe of it. And then I started to regret that I sold all my other Hermes bags. I don't know why, guys. I do this a lot. Like, I just have regrets for selling bags. I think because I just love all the bags. And I really regretted selling my Kelly and my mini bolide. The toolbox I didn't mind as much, but the mini bolide and the Kelly I really regretted, because I realized that Hermes bags last the longest out of all the bags in the consignment store. Like, the vintage Chanel, I loved it, but it looked old. The Louis Vuitton bags from the early 2000s, they were beautiful, but it was very hard to find ones in pristine condition. I often got in Hermes bags from, like, the 60s or the 70s, and they still, like some of them had come back from the Hermes bag spa, but they still looked absolutely beautiful. Like, you wouldn't even be able to tell that it was from that time. And this is the thing that really clicked it for me with Hermes. I realized these bags can be boring. They can be they don't really stand out sometimes, and people don't get it. But when you get it, guys, it really hit me in the face. I was like, oh my god, like, Hermes bags, like, they actually are made to last. They're trendless. They're so many styles from Hermes. They're like the original idea. A lot of designers are influenced from things that come from Hermes, and when I realized there was just so much I didn't understand, or there were so many things that I had to learn about Hermes, it really changed my mindset about the whole brand. And actually, I started to really appreciate my Picotin a lot more, because I realized it was just beautiful leather. And another thing about Hermes that really draws me to it, as I said before, it's The colors, I think, are the best out of all the brands. I think they really know how to dye their leathers well, and they really pride themselves in the craftsmanship, which I know other brands say they do as well, but given the recent decline in quality across the board, Louis Vuitton, Chanel, like all the brands, I think Hermes, perhaps they have quality issues as well, but all in all, overall, I found that after collecting many bags, Hermes bags to me don't fail like other bags have. Because I've had quality issues with Chanel bags, I've had quality issues with Louis Vuitton bags, but Hermes bags, I found that they really, you can really rely on them and they're very practical for everyday life. Now, admittedly, guys, I was really entranced by like the Birkins and the Kellys of the Persefair, and I ended up kind of selling a lot of my Chanel bags and then I bought 3 Kellys this year. I bought this one, I bought this little red vintage one, which is from my birth year, 1991. Like, this is 31 years old and it still looks incredible. And this is what made me start collecting Hermes, because no other brand that is 31 years old is going to look this pristine. Like, I know that people, you could assume no one used this, but I honestly think someone used this and loved it, and it still looks this good, because there's like a big dent in the back, and it's just, I don't know how, but Hermes bags, they're like tanks. Like, you can't kill them. Like, even if you completely thrash it, you can still sometimes take it to the bag spa and they can restore it. I mean, and I think the way that Hermes bags age is very beautiful as well. Like, even if you see Linda Evangelista's Birkin from 1985, it still looks absolutely like stunning and like, whoa, but it's really old, guys. Like, and I don't know any other brand that can hold up that well. Like, the details, the way that the handle is crafted, the quality of the hardware, the hand stitching. The Kelly bag, honestly, guys, is just like the most beautiful bag. And it's something that I didn't appreciate until after I had collected so many other brands and kind of seen and experienced and had these bags. It just made me obsessed with particularly the Kelly. The Birkin I love as well, but for some reason I don't wear it as much. I definitely don't wear Birkins or Kellys to work. I only wear them on my days off. The bags that I actually find that I use the most, like my Her bag, my Bolide, my Lindy, my Picotin, and I've become really obsessed with Hermes bags that are not the Birkin and the Kelly, because I find that they're really low key and you can wear them to work and no one will know what it is, but I know what it is, and they hold up really well. The colors are beautiful. I'm also obsessed with all these like stupid bag charms that Hermes have, and I love the twillies. Like, I have been collecting a few twillies and 90 by 90 scarves, so Hermes silks really are something that I've got into recently as well. For me, it's a brand that I find the most fascinating. It took me a while to actually appreciate the brand. Actually, probably the brand with a real cult following, and it's also probably the nerdiest brand in terms of like learning about all the little details about it, because I think that they have so many bags that they've released over the years that like nobody even knows about. And I like how slowly Hermes release their bags as well. Like, recently, they released like the Della Cavaliera bag, which I saw on Fashionably Amy's channel. I think that's a really nice bag, and I also sometimes look at their Instagram and they have this like little cylinder bag with a top handle, and these are bags that the most like the general public would look at and not know it's an Hermes bag. And I love the mystery of that. I love bags that bag nerds know that it's like a really nice bag, but the general public doesn't know what it is, and so they won't judge you, won't get judged, and you can just enjoy the best bags ever. Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think Hermes bags, a lot of people don't know what they are, but you know it is a gorgeous bag, and they really transcend time better than any other brand, in my opinion. So yeah, I really appreciate, actually recently, really low-key Hermes bags. Like, things like this, like, you wouldn't know it's an Hermes bag, but I love the color, I love the leather, I love experiencing all the different types of leathers, I like learning about it. You know, I'm not a millionaire. I find it easier for me to explore Hermes bags if I sell some of my other bags. So I had a lot of Chanel bags in the past, and I still have like 4 or 5 Chanel bags, which I don't know if I'll ever sell them, but I do find that the quality on them is not as good as Hermes. And you know, Chanel bags, they have a different appeal. They're a lot more obvious, and they're more well known, I would say, than most Hermes bags. But yeah, I find that I enjoy the mystery of Hermes. That is something that I find very appealing. I don't know if that made any sense, that video. I can understand why you wouldn't like Hermes bags, but yeah, it's something that I think you have to learn to appreciate over time. And it's hard to unsee what I've seen. I think working at a consignment store definitely opened up my eyes as well, and I could really see how bags are like against each other, how they last, what they look like over the years. Yeah, I don't know. I just really got into it this year again, guys. So I don't really want to sell any of these bags. It's something that I've really set up my mind on now, that I really want to collect more Hermes bags. I've started to look at more low-key bags as well. Like, I really appreciate Loewe. I really like, even I've started to think about getting like a Ferragamo top handle bag, because I think that's a really cute bag as well. And yeah, I've just found more appreciation for low-key designs that are still high quality, as opposed to like the Louis Vuitton monogram and like the Chanel CC bags and the flaps. I find them, I don't know, I've kind of just been there, done that. I'm just moving on, and I'm just trying to evolve. I think my style is evolving. I think my knowledge is becoming bigger as time goes by, and yeah, who knows, I might change my mind again later, but this is the phase I'm in for now. So guys, are you somebody who is super into Hermes, or would you never sell your bags to buy Hermes bags? Let me know. I hope you found this video enjoyable, and yeah, thanks for listening to me blab on about nothing, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye!